5 with that police officer indicted on charges after a shooting last month when he opened fire during a traffic stop.
Fox 5's Homa Bash live in Bowie with the first look at the video of that shooting. Homa?
Guys, good evening. The community has been asking for transparency since this happened, and today they got it with these charges filed and the release of body and dashcam video showing the shooting and exactly what led up to it. And I have to warn you, some of our viewers may find this disturbing. On September 12th at 8 a.m., Bowie Police Sergeant Robert Warrington comes across a stopped vehicle on the left shoulder near John Hanson Highway. Warrington gets out to help, but moments later fires a single shot at the passenger who says he was getting a hat blown onto the road.
You here to help her? Are you here to help her?
Nah, she taking me in the hospital.
Come here. You got a gun.
What'd I do?
You got a gun.
I don't have a gun. I don't have a gun.
No! To be clear, the man falls to the ground but is not hit by a bullet. The shot hits a passing vehicle but doesn't injure anyone. Immediately, Warrington starts apologizing.
Why did you do that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Why would you do that?
Today, Prince George's County State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy announcing a grand jury indictment against Warrington. Attempted second-degree murder, first-degree assault, misconduct in office, and 2 counts of reckless endangerment.
It's important that those who have been sworn to protect and serve the public really value life. And when actions of an officer or anyone, whether it's a civilian as well, show a disregard for life, the law is there to hold them accountable.
I support the grand jury's independent, objective process and decision.
For weeks, the community has questioned what led to the shooting and demanded answers. Officials want to be clear. The man who was shot at was never arrested, never charged, and has fully cooperated with the investigation. Bowie Mayor Tim Adams says transparency and integrity are key.
And we need to really understand that everybody is held accountable. And that's not prejudging anything, but also just knowing that here I'm very proud of our police department and what we've done here.
Warrington is a 12-year veteran of the Bowie City Police Department, now suspended without pay. He has been issued a summons following today's indictment. Will have his first court appearance in the coming weeks. Guys.
So y'all just heard that audio clip right there, and I have to tell you, this has got to be one of the most reckless police-involved shootings that I have seen in quite some time. Thankfully, the person that was shot at literally was just shot at, and nothing, drastic happened with him. Because that could have turned, because the way that if you looked at it one way, you would think that this guy just got his head blown off because of the way he just fell to the ground and like the debris was coming off, but that wasn't the case. So you have this person right here named Robert Warrington, who is a cop, or at this point he needs to be fired, terminated, arrested, and thrown in jail and charged heavily with the crimes in which he definitely committed. So there was a stalled car on the side of the road, and by the way, I know exactly where that road is in Bowie because I see it all the time. I know exactly where it is. It's like an overpass. And when I saw it, I said, I know exactly where that is. So it was a stalled vehicle. He came over to see what the situation was, and the man who was in the car, well, he was outside of the vehicle. He went to go get his hat because his hat had blew off of his head, and then all of a sudden this guy reaches back and he decides to pull out his gun and just open fire and just shoot a shot in this man's direction. The guy falls down, and I'm thinking that, oh man, he shot and like maybe killed this guy because his body was laying on the ground just like kind of limp, but he was still alive. Turns out this dude done fired his weapon into a car coming the opposite direction, and I'm sitting here saying to myself, how in the world did you even do that? Number one, you shouldn't even pulled out your gun in the first place for a situation like that, because clearly the guy wasn't a threat to you. He wasn't going back for anything except his hat blowing off his head. You could clearly see that's what he was going for. And two, you was like right there. How in the world did you miss and hit another vehicle? That, man, listen, that is, again, this is why I say this is one of the most reckless police situations that I've seen in quite some time. And as y'all heard in the audio, it was another woman in the vehicle with him, and she says, "Why did you shoot him? Why did you shoot at him?" And the guy says, I don't have a gun. Why did you shoot at me?" and all this type of stuff. And all he could do was say, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." It's gonna take more than I'm sorry. And if you hear the tone of his voice and how erratic he sounded, this guy does not need to, one, be a cop if he's going to be that jumpy, and two, he does not need a weapon. And the thing is, he pulled out his gun so fast and opened fire. The thing is, he didn't even tell the guy to his rights or anything like that. You know how to put your hands up. He just literally pulled out the gun and popped and opened fire. It kind of reminded me of Tamir Rice. Like, as soon as they pulled up, they opened fire and they killed that boy. This looked almost exactly like that, except fortunately and luckily, this man did not die in this situation, because that's exactly the way that it could have gone. Now, as you can see on your screen, these are the charges that he was hit with: attempted second-degree murder, first-degree assault, misconduct in office, and reckless endangerment twice. Of course, the reckless endangerment twice is, of course, what he happened with the initial incident itself, and of course him firing into another vehicle. Of course, the attempted second-degree murder is, of course, firing at the man. First-degree assault, again, going with the situation at hand. It's a longer video, it's a whole dash cam video even leading up to that. So what y'all heard, that was just right there when all of this went down. I hope they find him guilty on every last charge that he got hit with, because that is crazy. That is wild, but that just shows you how trigger happy a lot of these cops are. You've always heard stories where they have said cops have gone years without them having to draw their weapon. In my opinion, gone are those days. These cops out here can't wait to pull their gun out and use it on somebody just because they never get a chance to actually use it outside of maybe training or going to the range. So they get trigger happy, and they probably are upset that they can't use it, so they find any way or any excuse to do so. Because guess what? This cop was prepared to do the same song and dance that we have seen with these other cops say, "Oh, I fear for my life. Oh, he was going for this. Oh, they were going for that. Oh, they weren't complying. Oh, they were doing this. Oh, they were doing that." He was prepared to come with that narrative, and it went completely far left when, one, he missed, and two, he shot into another vehicle. Like, dude, are you insane? You could have took somebody else's life. Like that. I couldn't even imagine being the person in the other vehicle. Like, what in the world? Where did that even come from? And let me also caution y'all too, where this happened at is actually not far from Benjamin Tasker Middle School. Now, for those who don't know what Benjamin Tasker Middle School is, that is where one of the victims of the DC snipers occurred at. It was a little boy at that school. That overpass where this incident right here just occurred, if you keep going over that overpass and past the two lights, Benjamin Tasker is on the right side. I kid you not. So it's crazy thinking about, even though there's clearly no relation, how close this incident was to what happened back in 2002. And considering with those choice of weapons, they were firearms. So it's just, man. But anyway, I hope that they throw the book at this cop, completely hold him accountable. They said he's been suspended without pay, so he's not on the payroll at the moment. Like I said, he needs to be fired, like actually fired, terminated, and he also needs to be charged. Well, he's already been charged. The charges need to stick. He needs to be convicted, and he needs to pay a fine, preferably to that man, and any damages that have been done. And he needs to get jail time for this. I would not accept anything less. If it was up to me, nothing less than 10 years. If it were up to me. But again, it's not up to me. So who knows what he's actually going to receive. But he has to receive something, because there are consequences for your actions, or at least there should be. In a perfect world, there would be. But unfortunately, we live in a very imperfect world, and even more an imperfect society.